Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today as we are in February, and February is known as Heart Month. It's time to take care of that heart. So we are honored to have Kate here with us today, and she is going to talk to us about heart health. So if you just give me one moment, and I will share the screen for you.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out today, really to prioritize your health. My name is Kate Carripio, and I'm excited to guide you through this journey to better health. This webinar is really all about empowering you with these simple, practical strategies to take care of your heart and, in turn, your overall well-being. So here is, we're just going to mute. There we go. Okay, here's what we're going to cover today. There's three things. One, why heart health matters. How really that's how your heart impacts everything from energy to longevity. The second thing that we are going to talk about is lifestyle strategies. And this is really to strengthen your heart and live a healthier life. And then the third thing is really just ending it with some simple actionable tips that you can start implementing today. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. So super interesting. Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, affecting millions of people every year. But here's the incredible part. Up to 80% of the cases are preventable through healthy lifestyle choices. So think about that for a moment. The majority of heart disease is not inevitable. It's within our power to protect our hearts and to shape a healthier future for ourselves and for our loved ones. Your heart, it's more than just this muscle pumping blood. It's really the engine of your body. And like any engine, it needs proper care and maintenance to run efficiently, right? So when your heart is strong and healthy, your entire body operates smoothly. You'll feel energized, focused, and really capable of tackling life's challenges. But when your heart is overworked and it's undernourished or it's neglected, it can set off this chain reaction. And suddenly your energy dips, your mental clarity suffers, and your mood, it can spiral downwards. So when we talk about heart health, many people think it's about really in terms of longevity, living a longer life and avoiding diseases. And while that's super important, heart health is so much more. It's really about adding life to your years. So a strong and healthy heart, it really gives you the stamina, play with your kids, your grandkids, take that dream vacation or explore new places, go hike some mountains, right? Or enjoy the favorite hobbies without being fatigued. It's the foundation for living a vibrant, active, and a fulfilling life. So I'm going to share some quick facts, really, just to put this in perspective for you. So your heart beats approximately 100,000 times a day. I was absolutely stunned when I heard that number. It pumps over 2,000 gallons of blood. That's a lot of work. It deserves to be treated with care and respect, right? Even small changes are going to be able to make a big difference. Studies show that regular exercise, even as simple as a 30-minute walk most days, can reduce your risk of heart disease by as much as 35%. That's a big number. And then, of course, you've heard it before, I'm sure, that nutrition plays a critical role. Foods such as that are rich in fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants. Think of this as your fruits, your vegetables, whole grains, nuts. They can significantly lower your heart health and your cholesterol. No, they're going to improve your heart health and they're going to lower your cholesterol. Okay, got them all backwards. So here's the amazing thing. Your heart is resilient. And with the right lifestyle choices, your heart can heal and it can get stronger. even if you face challenges in the past. So here's an example that I was shared with me, and this is from science, that it says if you experienced high blood pressure or high cholesterol or other risk factors, adopting these healthier habits can reverse those trends over time. So I thought that was some pretty awesome news to read. So if you're wondering, where do I even begin? It starts with awareness. It starts with just recognizing that your daily habits, the way we eat, the way we move, the way we manage stress and sleep, it directly impacts your heart's health. All right. It's about finding those small, manageable changes that work for you and then sticking to them. So here's a practical way to think about it. Your heart health, it's like a savings account. And I know some financial people in here are like, yes, all right. But think of every positive action that you take, whether it's eating a nutritious meal, whether it's going for a walk or some deep breathing, that it's adding deposits into that account. And over time, those small deposits, right, they compound, they grow into this substantial reserve, protecting you, and it actually gives you the strength and energy to live life on your terms. That's pretty good, right? But don't forget, heart health, it's not just about you. When you prioritize your health, one, you're setting an example for those around you. And whether it's your kids, your partner, your friends, your commitment to taking care of your heart can inspire others to do the same. And you can imagine the ripple effect, right, of one healthy decision that you make and how that goes out to others. So as we dive a little bit deeper into tonight's webinar, I'm going to encourage you to keep this in mind. Your heart is your most vital organ, but it's also a reflection of how well you're caring for yourself. Every choice you make has the potential to protect this incredible engine of life. And you got to remember, the journey to better heart health, it does not require perfection, but it does require progress, right? You got to do something. So we're going to talk right now about 4 things, which are really the key lifestyle strategies for heart health. And the first one is nutrition. What you eat directly impacts your heart health. It's one of the most powerful ways to protect and strengthen your heart. Think of food as the fuel for your body, right? And the quality of that fuel determines how well your engine or your heart performs, right? This, you all know this, but sometimes we just need to hear it again. So here's what we're going to focus on. 1, lean proteins. Proteins like chicken, turkey, tofu, beans, lentils, these are all great options because they're lower in saturated fats compared to red meat. They provide those building blocks that your body needs to repair and maintain itself without putting that extra strain on this ticker here, right on your heart. The other thing is fruits and vegetables. Brightly colored fruits and veggies like berries, leafy greens, carrots, bell peppers, they are packed with antioxidants. And what they do is they combat the inflammation and reduce damages to your arteries. So you may have heard, eat the rainbow, right? Eating the colors of the rainbow every day. The more variety and color that you put on your plate, the more nutrients that you're giving to your heart. So that's fabulous. The third thing is healthy fats. Now, here's the thing. Not all fats are created equal, right? So there's good ones, like the ones that are found in olive oil, avocados, nuts. The fatty fish, like salmon, they are essential for a healthy heart. Yeah, I'm sure many of you heard of the omega-3 fatty acids, right? That's in salmon and other oily fish, which I think sounds really gross, but that's just what it is. They can reduce your inflammation and lower your risk of heart disease. You can even put like a drizzle of olive oil on your salad or some avocado on whole grain toast. And that's a simple way to incorporate these healthy fats into your day. The fourth one that I just want to bring up is whole grains. So foods like oats, quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat bread, they are rich in fiber. And that actually helps to lower your cholesterol and keeps your arteries clear. So they also help stabilize your blood sugar, which is essential for long-term health. So instead of the white bread, try swapping that out with some whole grain, right? These little switches can make some big impacts. Okay, we're going to talk about three foods, right? Because focusing on the heart, healthy ones are great, but there's other ones, and I'm going to mention three that are, it's important to limit. Okay, so things just to keep in the forefront of your mind. One is processed foods. And I want to be clear, not all processed foods are the same. Okay, they're not. But if you're not pulling it, something from a tree or pulling it from the ground, most likely it's been processed in some way, right? So you can imagine there's such a range. But many processed foods are loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and sodium. And these ingredients can increase your risk of high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, and heart disease over time. So take a moment and check those nutrition labels. Opt for some whole, minimally processed foods whenever possible. One thing that I do like to work on when I'm at the grocery store and I'm looking at nutrition labels, they say if it has 5 ingredients or less, that would be ideal. So keep that in the back of your mind. The second one, right? So in addition to the processed foods that we want to kind of keep an eye on that, the trans fats and saturated fats. This is the fats that are found in fried foods, in a lot of your baked goods, and some of the prepackaged snacks. These fats can actually raise your bad cholesterol and lower the good cholesterol. And that combination is dangerous for your heart. And then the third one, and so many of us hear about this, especially during Heart Health Month, is excess sodium. Sodium is sneaky. It is in so many packaged and restaurant foods, and too much salt can lead to the high blood pressure, which is a major risk for the heart disease. So, some samples, maybe try flavoring your food with some different herbs and spices, some fresh lemon juice, right? Squeeze that on instead of relying on the salt. And once again, good news that these small changes to your diet, they can really add up quickly. So maybe swapping out one of the processed snacks for a piece of fruit or adding a handful of spinach to your pasta, right? That may seem minor, but those little adjustments can contribute to a healthier and happier heart over time. All right, but here's one thing to remember. Heart healthy eating, it's not about deprivation. It's about abundance, really. Focus on filling your plate with nourishing, colorful, and delicious foods that make your heart happy. Okay, so we talked about nutrition. Second thing we're going to talk about is physical activity. So your heart, it's a muscle. And just like any other muscle in your body, it needs regular exercise to stay strong and to function efficiently. The good news? You don't have to become a marathon runner, right? Or hit the gym for hours every day to benefit your heart, right? Consistency and moderate activity are really what matters most. The goal is to aim for about 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. So that boils down to about 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Activities like brisk walking, dancing, hiking, biking, or even gardening, they can make a huge difference. So brisk walking, let's just take that one. It's low impact, it's accessible to almost everyone. It's incredibly effective at improving heart health. So imagine the power of just by taking a walk, brisk walk, you're outside, you're breathing fresh air, you're moving your body. It's like a triple win for your heart, your mood, and your stress levels. So, but I'm going to point out, I hear this all the time, but it's February because it's Heart Health Month, right? It's February and it's cold in the north. Put a coat on. Put gloves, a hat, a scarf. Don't make that be your excuse. Just going to point that out there. You know what? It's hot in the South, during the summer. Same thing. We need to get out there. So don't overlook activities that you already enjoy or can easily incorporate into your day. And this is going to sound funny, but I've been talking about it with a lot of people lately. Have a dance party, right? Just dance in your living room, play with your kids, do some active chores, like I would say raking leaves, but it's really more shoveling snow, right? Or, cleaning the house, but, do it at a fast pace. The key is to find things that work for you and to keep you moving consistently. So in addition to the cardiovascular activity, strength training and stretching, they play an important role. Okay, so the strength training that actually helps build the muscle, which supports your metabolism, and it improves your body's ability to manage blood sugar. And then, of course, the strong muscles, they reduce the workload on your heart, and they also make our everyday task seem easier. So this does not mean that you need to go to the gym and lift heavy weights. Simple body weight exercises like squats, lunges, push-ups. And if you can't do a push-up off the ground, do it off a desk, do it off the wall. But that's a great way to start, because stretching and flexibility exercises, they're going to do great things. So think of yoga, think of Pilates. So many times they're overlooked, but they're just as important. They actually help improve your circulation, they reduce muscle tension, and they promote relaxation. Okay, all good things for your heart. And what they say is these activities, these yoga and Pilates, things like that, they actually will help prevent injury, keeping you active and mobile for years to come, which, as we continue to age, it's super important. So remember, you don't have to carve out these huge blocks of time to move your body. Break it down into smaller chunks if you need, right? So taking that 10-minute walk in the morning, do some stretches after lunch, a quick body weight workout in the evening, right? We just talked about that, the lunges, the squats, right? The cumulative effect of all of these, they're going to add up pretty quickly. And the most important thing, though, is finding activities that you enjoy. Movement should not feel like a chore. It should feel like a gift that you're giving your body and your heart. So whether you're walking or you're dancing, gardening, or lifting weights, if that's your thing, every bit counts and brings you closer to a stronger and healthier heart. All right, so we talked about nutrition, we talked about physical activity. Next, stress management. Okay, I think everyone's familiar with this, right? Stress, it's a natural part of life. But when it becomes chronic, it can take a serious toll on your heart. When we're stressed, our body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which in small doses, they're very helpful. But over time, if stress is your constant companion, these hormones can lead to increased blood pressure, higher cholesterol, and even inflammation, all of which are putting that strain on your heart. And it increases the risk of heart disease. But the good news is that stress, it's manageable. You can't eliminate stress entirely. You can't. But you can learn to respond to it in healthier ways that actually protect your heart. So I'm going to go over a few things. The first is, I think the simplest, it's deep breathing. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, and yes, overwhelm is a feeling. But when this feeling comes on, you're overwhelmed, just pause for a moment. And we're going to do what's called box breathing. So I want you to think of a box, right? 4 sides. So take a deep breath in for the count of 4 and visualize yourself going up that box. And then hold it for 4 as you're going across the top. And then a slow exhale for 4 as you go down. And then you're going to hold it for 4 as you go across the bottom. And this simple practice, box breathing, right? There's many other types of deep breathing as well, but this simple practice activates your body's relaxation response, and it lowers your heart rate and your blood pressure almost immediately. So I'm going to really encourage you to give that a try. The other thing is journaling. Writing down our thoughts and feelings, it actually can help us process emotions, identify some stressors, and what I would think is fun is when you find your own solutions to your problem. It's like having a conversation with yourself. It's a safe place, right? No one's going to yell back at you, but you can unload what's on your mind. And if you're not sure where to start, try writing down 3 things that you're grateful for each day. Gratitude has been shown to reduce stress and improve your overall well-being. I'll tell you, one of the things that I like to do from a journaling perspective, I write a letter to my angels. And I just say, this is what's on my mind. This is what's happening for me today. This is what I want to happen. And what I find is it just gives me an opportunity to go through my entire day, put it all out on paper. And sometimes I'll get some different inspiration. Oh, I should do this, or maybe I'll do that. So journaling is really a great tool in helping with stress management. But here's another one, and this one's fun. It's about laughter. When was the last time that you really laughed, like belly laughed, doubled over, right? Laughter, it not only improves your mood, but it reduces your stress hormones. It increases your endorphins and those feel-good chemicals in your brain. So watching a funny movie, sharing jokes with friends, or just really allowing yourself to embrace joy, that can do wonders for your heart and mind. We talked about physical activity when we were talking about physical activity, but that's also a great stress reliever, right? Because that the movement releases the tension and that helps burn off the excess cortisol, right? So it's a circle. And if it's yoga, the brisk walking, the dancing, right? Any form of movement can help you just have a reset and to feel calmer. So, two more things when we're talking about stress management. One, it's important to create boundaries to protect your time and your energy. Sometimes stress builds because we overcommit ourselves, leaving no time for rest or self-care. So learning to say no or to delegate tasks, it's not selfish. It's actually essential for your well-being. So I want you to keep that in mind. Just think about that. Take a look at your boundaries. And then the last thing is, I don't want you to underestimate your power of connection. Spending time with the people you love, sharing your feelings, just simply being around people who uplift you, that can reduce your stress. Social support, it's a protective factor for both our mental and our heart health. So take time for the people who matter most to you. Managing stress, it's an ongoing process, but these small intentional actions can really make a big difference. By making stress management a priority, you're not only protecting your heart, you're improving your overall quality of life. So start with one or two, maybe something of these strategies resonated with you and build from there. Because taking care of your heart, it's also taking care of your mind. And then I did say that there was going to be four. And the fourth one is sleep. Okay. Sleep is one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked tools for protecting our heart. I remember I've heard it. I know I've said it myself. I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? Things like that. Well, studies consistently show that the lack of sleep is linked to increased risk of heart disease and high blood pressure and even stroke. And when we don't get enough rest, our body struggles to regulate stress hormones and our blood pressure and our inflammation and all of those factors, as we continue to talk about, they can strain our heart over time. Think of sleep as really the ultimate recharge for your body because it's during that deep sleep that your heart rate and your blood pressure naturally go lower, and it gives your heart a chance to recover from the demands of the day. But when sleep is shortchanged and your heart doesn't get the rest that it needs, we're just leaving it to work harder than it really should. So, how can you prioritize your sleep and make sure you're getting the recommended 7 to 9 hours? And some people may be doing mental eye rolls here, right? But it really starts with creating a consistent bedtime routine. Your body thrives on routine. Whether you think it does or it doesn't, your body thrives on routine. So aim for going to bed and waking up the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends. Okay. This consistency, it's going to help regulate your internal clock and it's going to make it easier to fall asleep and then you'll wake up feeling refreshed. Another tip, and I know that everyone's heard this because I've said it many times myself, so I'm sure you've heard it from so many other people. Power down your screens before bed. The blue light that is emitted from our phones, our tablets, our TVs, they can interfere with your body's production of melatonin, right? And that's the hormone that helps us feel sleepy. So turn off those devices. They recommend 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. That's when you can take that time to unwind with relaxing activities. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's meditating, listening to calming music, take a bath, right? So there's that. And then your environment. This plays a big role in our sleep quality. And, what is said is to really make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. And it's by keeping it cool, dark, and quiet. I was chuckling, some of the information that I was reading said to keep your the temperature between 60 and 67, and I just cracked up. My husband would kill me. Like, so we keep it around 72, and I have several fans on me, but everyone's different. You do what works for you. But also using blackout curtains to block the light is a great idea. You can also consider a white noise machine, or fans if the external sounds are somewhat of a problem. And don't forget about your bedding. If you have an old or uncomfortable pillow or mattress, that may be sabotaging your sleep without you realizing it. And I will tell you that I realized this when my sister, she has a suite for me, so we call it. And she ended up getting me the most comfortable sheets for my bed up there. And what I was finding was my sleep was so much better when I went up to visit her. So I eventually had to find out which sheets she had and make sure that I got some for down where I live. So super important. And I had no idea that that was impacting me so much. So just something to think about if you're not getting quality sleep, maybe let me know and I'll give you the brand of my sheets. Um, so also, what you eat and drink can affect how well you sleep, right? So avoid heavy meals, caffeine, alcohol close to bedtime. Really, they just disrupt your ability to fall asleep and to stay asleep. If you're hungry before you go to bed, a light snack like a banana, almonds, or a warm cup of herbal tea, that can actually promote some relaxation without being too heavy. So keep that in mind. And remember, that stress and sleep, they are so closely connected. If you find your mind racing when you lay down, try the relaxation technique like the deep breathing, the box breathing, or one of the other ones. There's also the progressive muscle relaxation. That's when you start like with your toes, right? Squeeze your toes, let them relax, and then do that all the way up, through the heels of your feet, all the way up your legs, all the way up to your head. Okay. That's a great way to help your body relax, as well as you can always pick up that journal and start, writing to clear your thoughts before you go to bed. Because here's the thing. Sleep, it's not a luxury. It's a necessity. And by prioritizing your sleep, you're giving your heart the time it needs to recharge and to repair and to stay strong. And these small adjustments to your sleep habits can lead to significant improvements in your energy and your mood and your overall well-being. So treat your sleep like it's an essential part of your health, because it is. All right. So those are those four things. Now I just want to wrap it up with some practical tips. Okay, start small and stay consistent. We've talked about that the entire night. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to think of all these things to do at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Think of one simple, actionable change that you can make. All right, so if you decide that you're going to add a serving of vegetables a day, right? Maybe that means throwing a handful of spinach into a morning smoothie, roasting broccoli as a side for dinner. Great. If you want to commit to doing a little more exercise, maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk after dinner each evening. Okay. All of these things will add up to big success. Use the tools to support your success. We have so many tools, right? If meal prepping is a challenge, then set aside a couple of hours each week to prepare. That's one great idea, right? Another one is to pre-cut your veggies, cook your proteins, things like that. Fitness trackers, great tool, right? They can set reminders for your step counts. They could just, if somebody has an Apple Watch, closing your rings, all kinds of things. They also have apps to focus with your stress, right? So Calm, Headspace, some great ideas. Accountability, it's key. So talk to someone, share your goals with them, let them know what's important so that they can help and cheer you on the entire way. We're going to celebrate progress, not perfection, right? We said it over and over. It's small, consistent steps. That's what matters. Integrate these habits into your day. Look for ways to make them feel natural and easy. All right. It is not something that needs to be so crazy, just small habits. Bring them in. And then we want you to reflect on your progress. At the end of each week, take a moment. Ask yourself what worked well, what felt challenging. Use that insight to make the adjustments for the week ahead. Okay. You may decide that you're going to stick to just that habit, or you may want to add another one. But your actions matter. Okay. Remember, these small steps, they're not just about building habits, they're about creating a lifestyle that supports your heart and your overall health. All right. So take a moment, think of one habit that you're going to commit to start with today. All right. So thank you so much for being here today and for choosing to invest in your health. The fact that you took the time to focus on your heart, on this February, which is Heart Health Month, it speaks volumes. So thank you so much. Remember, the effort that you're putting in now, it's not just about in this present moment, right? It's about that future. All right. So as we wrap up, I encourage you to just reflect on what resonated with you. And if you feel inspired to make a change, do that. Reach out to somebody, let them know what you're going to do. All right. Let's make 2025 a year of better health together. Imagine how incredible it will feel when you look back and see how far you've come, because those small steps will add up to the transformation you can be proud of. So thank you so much for being here today. And I hope that you found some information valuable.